Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.
Hey, what's going on, Who Dat Nation? It is yours truly, Timothy J. Jones. And yes, I am the host of the State of the Saints podcast. Thank you so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast, where we talk New Orleans Saints. Come on in. Because we got a few things that we need to discuss. It is time for us to give our final thoughts on the New Orleans Saints embarrassing Week 6 loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers inside of the Caesars Superdome, by the way, by the score of 51-27. You know, Who Dat Nation, I had all day to think about the things that I was going to say to kind of put a nice little bow on an embarrassing loss that the Saints sustained on Sunday afternoon. I'm pretty sure that a lot of us can relate. I was very upset, frustrated, and honestly, man, I honestly have had enough, man. I honestly have had enough. Like, looking at this football team, going back, watching the game, watching the footage. Yes, I had to go back and watch it, unfortunately, because I wanted to make sure that, you know, I look at some of the bright spots, some of the things that I probably missed. You know, it's like a movie, right? I mean, you watch a movie for the first time and you're just kind of like in tune with the movie. And then the second time you watch it, you probably catch something that you didn't see the first time. It's kind of what it was. But, man, I've been a Saints fan for a very long time. Y'all know, man. I tell my story quite often here on the State of the Saints podcast. Throughout the years I've told this story, like I fell in love with the team because of my grandmother, big time Saint fan. Used to sit on her living room floor. Couldn't sit on the couch because, you know, y'all know how it is, man. I can't sit on my couch now. That's for the company. And I used to sit there and listen to the game. And I say listen because, I mean, the games were blacked out in the 90s. I mean, if you didn't sell out, you couldn't watch the games. You had to listen. And I used to listen to the games and, you know, feel like I was there because of Jim Henderson and the late, great Hokie Gajan. And even when the Saints had opportunities, when they sold enough tickets in order for them to be on TV, you know, I would watch it. And they didn't win a lot, man. They didn't win a lot. So you would think that I would become accustomed to being in this situation, be that I grew up in this type of environment where the Saints weren't really that good. But it's almost like when you make it to a certain level, right? You get a nice job, you get a nice house, you got a good family, right? And then all of a sudden, it seems like everything is going good, and all of a sudden somebody just takes it away from you. And, you know, you probably didn't start out that way, right? You kind of build yourself up, but you think about all of the bricks that you had to lay in order for you to get to this point. And you made it to a point where you don't want to feel the way that you felt when you laid that first brick. And that is what the New Orleans Saints are making Saints fans feel like right now. Now, some of you are in uncharted waters. You probably became a fan around the time Drew Brees joined the team. I'm not knocking you for that because a lot of you that listen to this, y'all fall into that 20, 25, 30-year-old demographic, and I appreciate that. But this is uncharted territory to some of y'all. Like, this is like the Great Depression The stock market crashed to 29 to some of y'all. But to me, I kind of feel the same way, because when you look at this football team and you look at the talent on this football team, everything about this team tells you that they have what it takes to win, despite the fact that they've been dealing with injuries throughout this entire season. I have yet to really see the Saints make necessary adjustments to overcome adverse situations. The situations have got to be perfect in order for the New Orleans Saints to thrive. And I have to ask myself why. And it goes back to what I've been saying throughout the years, that Dennis Allen can't do what Sean Payton did, which is take projects and be able to build something and do something with them. Like, we've seen undrafted, unproven guys thrive in the Saints offense because you had Sean Payton cooking it up and you had Drew Brees throwing them the football. But in a situation that involves Dennis Allen, just like him and his quarterback, Derek Carr, they need the perfect circumstances in order for them to thrive. They need the perfect circumstances in order for the Saints to become successful. And what I just don't get is, how can a person like Mickey Loomis, who has been a general manager for 20 plus years, understand that there is no perfect situation in the National Football League, and you have a head coach that you've hired that has shown you that if the situation isn't perfect, he can't work with it? I get that people just can't come out and say what needs to be said, because I understand, there's a lot of red tape, but luckily I don't have that problem. When it comes to Dennis Allen, that team quit on Dennis Allen on Sunday. I'm going to say that again. That team quit on Dennis Allen on Sunday. Now, we can beat around the bush and we can pretend it's a tough day at the office, this, that, and the third. That team quit on Dennis Allen. Point blank, period. I've seen the Saints have to go into a game in adverse situations. For example, the Miami Dolphins game. Whole team was out with COVID. You got Ian Book, a 4th-round draft pick out of Notre Dame, coming into the game. First pass he threw was a pick six. And the New Orleans Saints still managed to be able to make that thing respectable, even though they lost the game. And Miami pretty much dominated the game. They still kept it respectable. When I look at this football team and I see you have usual suspects that are key parts to your defense, and these guys who have been making plays throughout the season and throughout their time as New Orleans Saints players, all of a sudden forget the tackle, forget the fundamentals of a defense. Most of these guys know Dennis Allen's defense like the back of their hand. You probably can say like a Jordan Howden. Hell, even JT Gray, even if he's on special teams, he's been in there sporadically. And those guys just automatically just quit. They just allow Tampa to just do whatever the hell they want to do. And I go back and I just look at this and I just don't understand why people are just not making a big deal out of this. Because I could tell you what's going to happen on Thursday. I mean, a blind man can see what's going to happen on Thursday. The message that Dennis Allen is giving to this football team is on deaf ears. Dennis Allen is a dead man coaching. Dennis Allen needs to go. It's just that plain and simple. You can hide and try to cut off the comments, and you can try to, hide the fact that Dennis Allen is still in your facility and you think that people are just going to be quiet. No. And you can put a list of all these different starters that are out to try to gain some sympathy. It's not going to work. Because what the New Orleans Saints fans have seen over the last 3 seasons or 2.5 seasons is a guy, no matter what situation that you put him in, he fumbles the bag. And quite frankly, we are tired of seeing this organization set themselves back because they are so loyal to a fault to underachievers, to guys that don't have it anymore, to guys that should have been going years ago. And they're giving out lifetime achievement awards in the form of 3 and 4 year contracts. Look how many people he helped in the community. Let me give him a 3-year extension. Look how, look at what he's doing on social media. Look how many coats and jackets he done gave out. Let's keep him on the team. If I was running a humanitarian organization, I would want these guys on my football team, or my team rather. But I ain't running that. I'm running a organization that you need to make sure that you have young enough players and a balance of seasoned veterans in order for you to go out there week after week. It's just that plain and simple. And another thing, the Saints medical staff is trash. Yes, I just said this. The Saints medical staff is trash. I don't know who it is. I guess it's Ochsner. I heard that they're one of the best hospitals in all of the country. But when it comes to physical therapy and soft tissue, they stink. And I don't know what the contract entails. I don't know how many years the Saints have to conjoin themselves to this, but they may need to cut ties with this organization if they're the ones responsible for all of these players, these laundry list of players on a list. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. And I understand that some people may have to do that. They'll say things like, like this needs to be addressed. No, like these people need to go. Okay, I'm not going to say that it needs to be addressed. Yeah, it needs to be addressed, but I'm going to go deeper. These people need to go. How can you consistently find success in any way, shape, or form? Even if you are actually a competent coach, how would you be able to weather this storm? When you look at Tampa, you look at Atlanta, even Carolina. Carolina fought pretty hard against Atlanta. It kind of separated itself towards the end. But even with that, how do you expect to be competitive on Sunday, on Thursday? And people just went off on Michael Thomas. Oh, he a team cancer. Oh, he just mad. He just bitter. Yada, yada, yada. Man sounded like a prophet right now. This is the problem that I have with some individuals. You want to throw the brick and hide your hand. You want to throw the brick and hide your hand. You want to talk about how bad this dude sounded, talk about he was ishing on the organization, but now you're looking at this situation right there in front of your face, but we're going to pretend like this dude ain't been saying this stuff for I don't know how long. That needs to be addressed. That needs to be addressed. The Saints about to go out here. Spencer Rattler, rookie, played in his first game in the NFL. What, he was 22 of 40, 200 plus yards, 1 touchdown, 2 picks. And you got people out here critiquing this dude as if he is an 11-year veteran in the National Football League. Well, wait a minute, man. If Derek Carr did that, you're damn right. If Derek Carr would have did what Spencer Rattler did, I would have been critical. You know why? You know why? Because Derek Carr is an 11-year veteran that should know better. Spencer Rattler is a guy who is trying to learn the speed of the National Football League. You can call it an excuse all you want to, but that's equivalent to me. That's equivalent to me dunking a basketball, and the goal is NBA regulated, and I give the ball to my 5-year-old son and say, go ahead and dunk. And if he doesn't dunk, man, why you can't dunk? Maybe, I don't know, maybe because he's not tall enough. Maybe he hasn't went through that growth spurt yet where he's leaping out the gym. These are the type of people that I was afraid of. These were the people that I was afraid of when this dude came into the game. When he wasn't everything that everybody wanted him to be, which what people just need to understand is what did you expect? This is what I want to know. What did you expect? Did you expect 4 touchdowns? Did you expect 6 touchdowns in a guy's debut? Like, what are we comparing them to? Because I got some numbers for y'all, okay? I got the numbers of some very respectable rookie quarterbacks who have played against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this year. Let's start with Jaden Daniels. Everybody loves Jaden Daniels. High completion percentage, completing about 75% of his passes, 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. His very first game in the National Football League, folks, he went up against a Todd Bowles defense. Would you like to know, with Jaden Daniels, with a 75% completion percentage, 1,400 yards, 6 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, and a QBR of 107.1 had in a game versus Tampa Bay? He threw for 184 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. Let's move on. Let's talk a little bit about Bo Nix. Oh, yeah, that was a blowout right there, right? That was a blowout, a straight blowout. Denver took Tampa to the woodshed and Raymond James. Destroyed him, right? What did Bo Nix do? Let's look at Bo Nix stats. Bo Nix was 25 of 36. 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. So for all those people out there that just automatically just thought, like, what is this? What is this Messiah Savior y'all been clamoring that people was talking about? What did you expect for him to do? Did you expect for him to walk on water, turn water into wine, and while you're at it, sell cotton candy and then throw for 400 yards? So my whole point is, while people are out here trying to criticize this dude in his first start, and he did some really good things, but you're asking this guy to go out there and perform and put forth a star-studded performance in his first game against one of the most respected defensive minds in football. This is why I can't take some of you people serious. This is the reason why I just feel like some of y'all just a bunch of haters. Y'all just be talking. You don't know how to analyze football. How can you look at the circumstances? And some of you, because most of you wanted this dude to fail because you probably like supported Derek Carr. And you wanted to see this dude fall flat on his face because you wanted to justify Derek Carr. So I don't even pay y'all no mind. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to convince a person about a quarterback who had over 200 starts in an 11-year span that he is more than what he actually is. Miss me with that nonsense right there. What I seen from Spencer Rattler was a guy that had some promise. What I seen with Spencer Rattler, have yourself an actual center that can actually help you out, and also have some tape and some film where you can actually go back and see some of your mistakes. He is going to get better. I mean, go look at the stats. What y'all expecting is C.J. Stroud. What y'all expecting is Jaden Daniels. There are outliers every single year in the National Football League. There are outliers. C.J. Stroud, he had 25 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. I think he had maybe like a 68% completion percentage last season. He was the offensive rookie of the year. We look at those guys and just like, yep, that's what it needs to be. Go and look at the rookies from Caleb Williams, from Bo Nix, Drake May, who played yesterday for the very first time. Go look at those guys' stats. Go look at the completion percentage. Go look at the touchdown to interception ratio and tell me that this dude ain't falling in the same category as an individual who had their first start. But y'all don't want to hear that. You know why you don't want to hear it? Because it doesn't help your narrative. It doesn't help your narrative. What are we comparing him to? We expecting him, look, the comparison of Patrick Mahomes, right? Let me help y'all out with that. Since we want to do comparisons to Patrick Mahomes. Let's go to Patrick Mahomes' debut, his very first game, his very first start in the National Football League. I'm pulling that up right now. Let's go look at his stats. In his very first start back in 2017. Patrick Mahomes was 22 of 35. Spencer Rattler was 22 of 40. Patrick Mahomes had 281 yards, 0 touchdowns, 1 interception in his first start. So he completed the same amount of passes that Spencer Rattler did in his debut. Because that's what y'all trying to do. Y'all are trying to compare this dude to Patrick Mahomes. So if we're comparing him to Patrick Mahomes in his first start and Spencer Rattler, then they threw the same amount of completions. The same amount of completions. So my whole thing is, nobody was saying, like, look, everybody wanted to looked at this guy as the future, but nobody really was truly saying, for the most part, that Spencer Rattler needs to start this year. Nobody. I mean, nobody with, a football mind for the most part. Like most people is probably, looking at maybe next year or something like that. Nobody was looking at this dude to come in and start this year. Because look at this offensive line. Look at this offense, how stale it is. Nobody was expecting for this dude to start. You're asking a tall order of a guy. You're expecting for him to basically learn on the fly, all the while keep his head on a swivel and understand the speed of the National Football League, all the while where you got live bullets at you like that's just roaming free, like straight up Olay type defense. Olay, 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 straight through. Guys don't even know where the blitz coming from. Nobody was expecting this dude to start, but you hear what you want to hear. This is what you guys wanted. This is basically what I like to call low-hanging fruit. What you expect for a guy to do who was drafted in the 5th round. People knew that he had raw talent. He just needed to sit down and learn how to become a pro and go through the motions and go through the game film and be able to learn how to study from the veterans. That is what he was supposed to do. But now all of a sudden the dude didn't walk on the field and threw 4 touchdowns or throw for 400 yards like Cam Newton in his debut. Now all of a sudden, oh man, he ain't good enough. If you don't feel like this dude is good enough, and I'm going to say this and I'm going to move on. If you don't feel like this dude is good enough, you create an expectation for Spencer Rattler that you knew this dude couldn't live up to. Because ain't nobody in their right mind. Like, just go back and look at, the New Orleans Saints beat writer podcast. Look at what they said about a stat line. They say 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions, about 50% completion percentage, got sacked 5 times. Them boys sound like prophets over there. Nobody in their right mind that was covering football or anybody that really understands the ebbs and flows, the ins and outs, the X's and O's, the Willies and Joes, had this dude out here throwing for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. Nobody. Once again, if you looked at this dude film and just were like, man, he sucks. If you looked at this man film and said that he sucks, you created expectations for this dude that basically it just didn't exceed your expectation. And I just don't understand. Like, how in God's name did you expect for this dude to, with this offensive line, to go out there and eat like he ain't had a meal in 60 days? That's just wishful thinking on, in my honest opinion. That's just wishful thinking right there. But all in all, back to my original point. DA needs to go. Mickey Loomis needs to understand that you can't put injury reports out here. You can't put out these excuses for Dennis Allen anymore. No one will accept nothing other than Dennis Allen no longer being a head coach of this football team, because these guys, they probably like Dennis Allen, but deep down inside, if they was to take a polygraph test and they say, do you feel like you got the right head coach that leads you to success? I guarantee you very few of those gentlemen will pass that polygraph test if they say yes. The writing was on the wall. Now, it's up to you if you want to accept that or not. There is no saving grace for Dennis Allen. He's a defensive minded coach, and the Saints, as of right now, are ranked dead last in total offense. You're not getting sacks. I mean, teams are just running up and down the field on you. Swiss cheese defense. You got Paulson Adebo, Mr. Feast of Famine himself. You got this man handing and holding all night long like he a boxer, or he just took his girlfriend for a night on the town. This man holding left and right like it's prom night, and yet nothing happens. I just don't understand it, man. Like Sean Payton or not, but there were times when the Saints went through adverse times with Sean Payton. And I can remember Sean Payton very, very vividly saying this. We need to fix what's going on. If we can't fix what's going on with the guys inside of the building, then we need to find guys that can. But you know what Dennis Allen saying in those type of situations? After your team done something defensively that they never done in their entire life, they just automatically just forgot how to tackle. They forgot how to tackle 14 times and give up more points almost in the history of the Superdome of this franchise. And this is what you say after Catherine Terrell asks you about the effort of your football team.
I thought somewhere there in the late third quarter, fourth quarter, that I thought we got worn down a little bit. I know the guys that are in that locker room. They're tough, competitive people, and so I don't question effort with our guys. We have to be better, but that's not really a question that I have of our guys. I think we'll be better this week.
You may not have the question, but I got the answer for you. And the answer is those guys quit on that football field. You're not about to tell me some of the most talented defensive players that you're going to find. Any team will be glad to have a Lattimore or Alontae Taylor or, some of these other guys like DeMario Davis on your football team. You're not about to tell me that these guys sit up here and just forgot how to tackle somebody 14 times. Chris Godwin had 125 yards receiving, 105 after contact. Now, to his credit, I would expect for him not to say that, I thought that the effort was trash. But to actually maybe instill some level of authority into the room, like, this is unacceptable. Like, man, look, we better than this. This is the New Orleans Saints defense that we built up. We need to figure out what's going on, or we going to find somebody else that can actually do it. You got a coach in Antonio Pierce, and be that as it may, has not worked out, but I respect the hustle. When he came out there and said people are making business decisions. That's what he said. A first-year coach telling the media in Las Vegas that he feels like some guys are making business decisions. You'll never catch DA saying nothing like that. Now, if it's like an undrafted guy that's a part of Last Chance U the last season, he'll go off on them because, what you going to say with that $30,000 salary you got? What are you going to say? Like $100,000 if you catch a pass or two. Are you going to question that? No. He's not going to say that to none of those players that he knows that his success is conjoined to. And that's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. You need that type of leadership inside of your locker room. You need the authority inside of the locker room, the guy that people look at and say, man, okay, the buck stops with that person. I really feel like dude's probably showing up late. Probably don't really care. And, slap on the wrist right there. Like, who cares? That ain't the type of leadership that this team needs. And I don't know if they're doing this for optics. I'm talking the Saints front office. I don't know if they're actually just doing this because I don't know. They don't want people to feel like they dysfunctional. They got, let me retract. Dennis Allen has the New Orleans Saints the laughingstock of the National Football League right now. They got people laughing at the New Orleans Saints. They got people hoping and wishing that the New Orleans Saints keep Dennis Allen as their coach because they know that that's going to be a dub. I don't care. I'm at a point. I want to see them win every single week. That's never going to change. But I'm to a point where I'm okay if they don't reach levels of success in 2024. I'm okay with it. As long as the end result is this dude being fired. And if this game gets ugly on Thursday, like I think that it will be, hopefully the New Orleans Saints do the right thing. Because if it's about winning and it's about creating a standard, your organization needs to live up to their creed. They need to live up to it. So if those guys go out there and they looking lax and acting like they're, not really interested, then you just need to do what you got to do. Because if you don't, then there's a word for that, and it's called hypocrisy. And if you are being a hypocrite, then why should New Orleans Saints fans all over the world, in New Orleans, around the Gulf Coast area, around those surrounding areas, the Mobiles, why should we try to muster up enough money to go inside the Caesar Superdome and sit in there and watch this team fumble all over itself for a coach that they know deep down inside they can't win with? That's all I want to know. Before we get to the chat, I want to let everybody know that the show is powered by BETUS. Sign up today, get up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Download the BETUS app and use the promo code YouTube150. First, I want to acknowledge the ones that donated. Michael Morgan, thank you very much for the $1.99. Says Rattler throwing the ball 40 times was not right. You throw the ball 40 times because you fell in such a deep hole and you had to kind of dig yourself out of it, which means that you're going to throw the ball more than run it. But even when they ran it, little to no success at all. We got to put up that Spence fence. Yeah, you got to put something up, man. But I honestly don't feel like the offensive line issues are going to improve until next season. And hopefully the next coach that comes in that can bring that, type of, energy to the New Orleans Saints organization where, they'll try to make sure that the Saints have a adequate offensive line that a quarterback can actually do something behind, Cyrus, thank you very much for the $4.99. Says, or Sirius says, I swear when we get one great offensive player back, we lose another. Like, how did we get Taysom back but lose Shaheed? God willing, we can't win. Yeah, I don't understand it, man. But that just goes back to what I was saying about this medical staff. It's trash. It's trash. Garbage. It's garbage. Like, you're not going to tell me otherwise. I don't know what the practices are. I don't know what they're trying to do. But you got, man, it's a laundry list. You got to look at the medical staff, or you're looking at this organization or the coaches running these guys too hard. I don't know. But somebody is to blame for this. Because every single week, I mean, it's ridiculous. Like, you look at the injury report today, it's like the whole team is on injury on the injury list. How the hell are you going to win with that? Like, how are you supposed to find any success with that? How are you supposed to have any belief in anything like that? I'm just saying. It's good for guys like Mason Tipton, and Bub Means and Cedric Wilson, and maybe Equimedius St. Brown might get, called up. Finally, he can have something to really talk to his brother about on that sorry-ass podcast they got. But all I'm saying is, like, good for them, I mean, good for them. I don't know, man. But like it's gonna be hard for you to win something like that. It's hard for you to come out there on national TV and try to go out there with the preseason squad. Like that same squad in its in its entirety was out there in that week 3 game versus the Tennessee Titans that made most of us fall in love with Spencer Rattler in the first place. So maybe those guys being out there, the walkthrough boys, as I like to call them, the walkthrough boys out there with them, maybe that'll provide a spark because they got that level of chemistry right there. Maybe that'll help, but that's what it is, man. That's what it is. Walkthrough boys, man. Got the walkthrough boys. Loomis is conning fans like he's the head of MAGA. Man, look, Prime. I don't know, man. Look, I don't know if he conning. I don't know. Look, I don't even think he conning. I just think that he's arrogant. I think he's arrogant. Well, it's pretty obvious that he has an ego. Like, you can just tell in his press conferences, he seemed like the type of person that doesn't like to be told that he's wrong or he makes a mistake. I was watching this documentary on Netflix called Mr. McMahon, and he has this saying that most people know of him. It says never sell. And anybody that watch wrestling that doesn't watch wrestling, selling means that if you ever see like a wrestler, they'll take a right hand and then they'll grab their face like, oh, they're in so much pain. Ow, ow. Like they can barely barely move their jaw. That's selling, right? But he's saying never sell, like, don't really let nobody see you sweat. All right. So, I mean, that's what he kind of lived by. But you can't fool me, man. This is terrible. Like, this is hot garbage that you got compiled up here. Plain and simple. I mean, at the beginning of the season, I said that, okay, it's hard for me to get upset about situations and things that I haven't seen yet. And I said, when it happens, I will adjust accordingly. I give everybody an opportunity. Okay, man, let's see what you got, right? Let's see what you got, especially if there's nothing really you can do about it. The only thing I can do is just take you at face value. That's all you can do and hope for the best. Like, nobody wanted to be in this situation, especially when they seen how the Saints performed in the first 2 games. But it just, honestly, I think that's the most frustrating part about it. I think Saints fans would have been mad, but I don't think they would have been as angry if the Saints would have just, I don't know, was in a nail biter with Carolina and in a dogfight with the Cowboys and end up winning. Then I feel like maybe, this 2-4 record, people will still be mad because they'd be like, the more things change, the more they stay the same. But I don't think they'll just be as angry. I think that if that was the case and injuries start to come out, I think people would have a level of understanding with it. But the issue is they basically lied to us. It was fool's gold. Like, you set somebody up, like, thinking that something great was about to happen. And then all of a sudden, like, I don't know, man, it's the gobbledygook up in this mug. Like, shoot, it's just a huge disappointment. Like, you expect for something big and extravagant, and you just get a big pile of what. It doesn't feel good, man. It was crazy seeing the offense looking defeated with a 3-point lead. Allen has no control over the team, and they don't believe in him. Man, look at Alvin Kamara's body language out there. That man was just going through the motions. And, anybody else would, if they actually believed in a football team, they actually believed in the process, they would not be asking their veteran running back who has broken ribs, a broken hand, and a hip issue to go out there and be running the football and carrying that thing 20 times. They would allow Jordan Mims to go out there and eat. They would allow, like, Kendre Miller to probably be the emergency guy, to have that Jordan Mims role, and let Alvin Kamara sit on the bench and let him miss a couple games. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? You can't run the football anyway. I mean, what have the Saints done in a running game that you couldn't sit Alvin for the last couple of games? To me, this man is taking and absorbing punishment that is unnecessary because he's going absolutely nowhere. Straight Stonewall Jackson in the backfield because you got a paper mache offensive line out there. The interior just gets slapped around like, man, just get up out of my way, young man. I got a quarterback to sack. So you making this man take unnecessary punishment. For what? For 3 yards of carry as a staff organization and crew? Jordan Mims can get you 3 yards. Jordan Mims can get you what? 10 carries for about 25 yards. So you allowing, like, this is what I'm talking about. Just ridiculous decisions. Like with no rhyme, no reason, no nothing. No rhyme, no reason, no nothing. You got your veteran running back out here with two things broken on him and something of a hip issue. I don't know if it's a hip flexor. I don't know what a pointer. I don't know what it is. But you got this man with all this stuff going on. And you still got this man out here running the ball and catching it and having 20 touches. That just reeks of desperation and just tomfoolery. Like, come on, man. If I'm looking at the stats, I'm looking at, okay, man, our interior getting they behind whooped every single game. You know, Alvin ain't really finding no success here, and plus he's hurt, and we're basically opening him to get even more injured because his offensive line isn't doing anything. You know what, Alvin, sit out these 2 games right here. Hey, Jordan, come on in, man. We like your hustle. We like you. You know, we're going to try to see if we can put you and Jamal in the backfield. And if Kendra Miller is back, why not put him out there? Like I said, have him serve the Jordan Mims role. But no, that's too much right. Like that makes too much sense to me. But you're going to have these dudes keep on going out there, man, leg barely hanging on, ribs cracked, and you got this man with 20 touches. As long as we can't stop the run, teams with a running game are going to trample us under their feet. Yep. I mean, to me, the entire Saints front four for the most part needs to go. I'm not keeping Chase Young. That was a huge mistake right there. I thought that maybe you can have something there, but ain't nothing there. I mean, congratulations. You got $13 million worth of cash and prizes. Let him go ahead and go. I'm not a fan of Colin Saunders like that. I think I like his personality, but he leaves a lot to be desired. Nate Shepard leaves a lot to be desired. Honestly, if I was the New Orleans Saints, I would draft or assign an interior lineman, and I would ask Brian Brzee to move to the outside. Because it's pretty clear that Brian Brzee is a really good pass rush. He's a better pass rush than he is an interior guy. Like, he's not really good at stopping the run, but he can get pressure on the quarterback. And at Clemson, he played both outside and inside. So how about just having a conversation with him and saying, you know what, Brian, we're going to slide you to the outside. Maybe, you know, like you're around 3-something. How about losing about 10 or 15 pounds? We'll put you at about 289, 290, and you just go out there and go out there and, you know, and we'll have you at the defensive end. And then you have Brian Brzee on one side, Carl Granderson on the other, and a young, promising interior lineman in the middle, along with somebody else that you could possibly sign. I mean, it could be Christian Boyd. I mean, I don't know. He looks pretty good. Could be that, and maybe a veteran guy. But you need to find ways to stop the run, man. And that ain't it. Like, think about it, man. When you ever seen like Brian Brzee, like just basically tackling somebody in the backfield, wreaking havoc? Like, most of the time, like, he getting pressure on a quarterback. He's a part of the NASCAR package. So make him slim down and make him a defensive end. Because I think with his motor and his pass rushing ability, you might be able to get 10 sacks. I mean, why not? I mean, y'all change around everybody else anyway, right? Nobody plays their original role in a Saints uniform. If you was an interior lineman, you're a defensive end. If you was a defensive end, you're going to slide to the inside. If you're a right guard, you was a right guard, you're the center. If you were a center, you're a right guard. If you were a right tackle, you're a left tackle. If you're a left tackle, you're a right tackle. So if you're doing all these different things, doing all this moving and shaking, why not? Why not? But for the exception of Carl Granderson and Brian Brzee, I'm moving on from all that. And another idea, some people may not like, and I'm sorry, but this is something that you might have to take into consideration. shopping Chris Olave. Yes, I just said that. Shopping Chris Olave. Because what I feel like the New Orleans Saints need and how they are structuring this offense, I think that if you can get yourself a high draft pick and draft a big physical wide receiver that has that number one receiver mind frame, I think that you'll be okay. And I'll be cool with having that particular receiver with Rashid Shaheed on the other side and get yourself another, 50-50 ball type receiver, maybe a veteran guy, that's coming out free agents, and maybe like somebody that's not happy, that's probably going to end up being gone from their team next year, like Calvin Ridley. That's what I would do. We're talking about fixing the offense. We're talking about doing the right things to try to help this football team reach its full potential. So that's what I'm saying. Like, I like Chris Olave a lot, but Chris Olave, very talented, but I don't look at this dude like just a dog number one. I want to he's a number one because of his attributes. Like Brandon Cooks was for the Saints. He was fast. He was a really good route runner, but when he left the New Orleans Saints, did you think, dang, bro, like, man, we really need Brandon Cooks? Yeah, later on in his career, when the Saints was kind of struggling, when you had Michael Thomas was the only one eating and Traquan Smith was the closest thing to a number two. But did Michael Thomas at any time make you miss Brandon Cooks as the number one receiver? It did not. It sounds crazy now because I'm saying it and you don't see the big picture. And you're also probably having an emotional attachment to him. I like him, but I think that if you can get yourself a guy who is a dog, I'm talking about a 100-catch dude, like a CD Lamb type guy, I'm doing it. I'm doing it, bro. Look, I'm not looking for an amen corner. I'm looking for solutions. Look, this is not the beauty pageant. This ain't the beauty pageant, bro. I see two guys that are physically athletic, fast as I don't know what, where the 50-50 balls at for the most part. Chris Olave, yeah, he'll catch it from time to time. But if I'm talking about if I need that, man, I don't see it. I see a really good top shelf number one receiver that will be a 1,000-yard receiver probably for his career, just like Brandon Cooks has been. But I don't look if the Saints were to draft a guy, they keep Chris Olave just for the sake of argument. If they was to keep Chris Olave as their wide receiver, and there was another guy that came in, and that guy probably had a skill set like Michael Thomas or something, I think Chris Olave would have no problem like moving over and allowing that guy to be the number one. I really feel that way. And if you don't, it's like Devontae Smith and AJ Brown. Devontae Smith is a really good number one receiver. He is. He's small, but that boy's a dog. But you have AJ Brown over. AJ Brown not happy when Devontae Smith leading the team and catches and receiving yard. He like him. He happy. It actually helps him because they win. But that's the mind frame that I feel like you need to have to be a number one. Like, I would honestly, I would shop him. I would shop him. We're talking about winning for the future, man. I don't care. I don't care nothing about no lifetime achievement awards, bro. I don't. Oh, he was here for a long time, man. You remember that game on Halloween when he caught 2 picks? Yeah, I remember. And I cheered and said, who that when it was all said and done. But we're talking about sustainable success. We're talking about keeping ourselves competitive. Team need to turn the page, man. Team need to turn the page. He'll put Kool-Aid at free safety too, if that'll work. But man, Kool-Aid need to be the number 2 corner on his team right now. too much, like I said, too much highs and lows. Like, okay, man, if you giving up 48-yard pass interference, but then the next play you catching the interception, return it at 48 yards. I don't know, man. Mark says, I'm with you, TJ. Somebody said, for what? What do you mean for what? For draft capital. So you're telling me if you can get a player, late first round pick for Chris Olave, second round pick for Chris Olave, probably get a first round pick for him. You probably get a first round pick because the Saints got a first round pick for Brandon Cooks. And in my opinion, Chris Olave is a better receiver than Brandon Cooks is. So you can get yourself a first round pick. So you're telling me with all of the issues that plaguing this team, in a way that the Saints are structured right now, it's looking like they're going to be picking in the top 10. So you have 2 first round picks for a trade for Chris Olave. Let's just say you trade with a team and they give you their 16th pick or 15th pick. You're telling me that you won't be able to find a wide receiver? Let me put y'all on game here. Let's go to the 2025 mock draft. And as a matter of fact, I got one for you. If you picking in the top 10, who's to say that the Saints couldn't get their hands on Travis Hunter? Who's to say that? So I mean, come on, man. Like I'm looking at it from a winning standpoint. You get yourself the 16th, 17th pick. That's an interior offensive lineman that you probably gonna need. First round talent right there in the top 20. Get yourself a wide receiver or a playmaker in the first couple rounds. Or, the offensive line, for the interior is it's a nice little class right here that's coming out in 2025. So who's to say, like, okay, that just say for the sake of argument, maybe a new coach come in. I like Rattler, but I'm not too sure about him. If you picking in the top 10, who's to say that the Saints won't find a quarterback? And then in later on in the second round, the trade that you made in the first round for Chris Olave turns into an interior lineman. So man, I'm looking at it from a future standpoint. I like Olave, but we have to look at it like, man, this is a business at the end of the day. You can get something like you can get a number one that can probably give you a little bit more. You ain't saying nothing wrong because I don't think he's fully sold on this team anyway. Get something out of him before he probably leaves. I was thinking that earlier, TJ. Shy says, nah, look, I understand, man. It ain't, my takes ain't for everybody. I get it, man. I'm not, like I said, I'm not looking for amen corner. I'm looking for the solutions. Says, I don't understand why Foskey even has a jersey. You know what? It's kind of hard for me to sit up here after some of the things that I've seen and some of the guys that I see out here eating that the Saints have let go throughout the years. I'm honestly starting to wonder, like, are these guys really that bad, or what the Saints are asking them to do makes them look bad? Because I'm seeing Caden Ellis out there being an integral part of the Atlanta Falcons defense. I'm seeing Zach Bond out there going sideline to sidelines, leading the team in tackles. I mean, it's nauseating to see these guys out here, and the Saints had these boys playing on special teams, running down the field, running as fast as they can to try to tackle a kick returner. And those guys are averaging 13, 14 tackles. Like, come on, man. So I don't know, man. I don't know. Isaiah Foskey might lead the Saints and then all of a sudden end up be leading the team he go to in tackles. That's frustrating, man. That's frustrating to see. You got to be a different type of crazy to still be sitting up here and figuring out ways for DA to save his job. People still got Adams trade scenarios going on to come help and everything else. Man, look, I do not want Devontae Adams at this point. Why would you want Devontae Adams at this point, man? Like, this isn't an easy fix. This isn't an easy fix, folks. It's not. Like, man, let's stop with the joking, man. Look, I know we all want our team to be a contender, but it ain't happening, man. Like, it ain't happening under this regime, bro. It's not happening under this regime. It's just not. Like, I think some of us are just waiting for that Disney moment to happen. That Disney moment. Look, well, like all of a sudden this team is just hot garbage, and then all of a sudden, I don't know, somebody just walk out. You know what? I quit. And then the next thing you know, they just rally around each other and break off 10 straight. I know that's what we want, but man, that's not reality, man. That's TV. That's TV, man. Like with this team, issues are just deeper than a Devontae Adams trade scenario. It is. You can have Devontae Adams. You can have Gomez Adams. You can have Adam West. You can have Black Adam. You can have whoever you want, wherever Adam you choose. If you don't have no offensive line that could be able to protect your quarterback to deliver Devontae Adams the football, guess what? A waste of time, waste of a trade, waste of draft capital. That's what it is. We have a few holes. I don't want a first. I trade him for a second or third. With the first round, we keep missing anyway. Look, if you can get a first round draft pick for Chris Olave, I don't care how many times you done screwed up. Hopefully this time you won't. I agree with TJ, and we need to let McCoy and Ruiz go and get a center and a guard. Now I would keep Aaron McCoy. Cesar Ruiz, I mean, that's an eyebrow raiser. If they keep him, I'll be okay with it. If they don't, then I mean, I would understand that too. Fate, yeah, they were surely a year too late with Trey Hendrickson. Yep. They didn't trust their eyes with Trey Hendrickson. They looked at the injury history. And they've been making a mistake ever since, because now the guy that overcame his injuries in Trey Hendrickson, now you're looking at other guys that you like are hoping that can become Trey Hendrickson, like Chase Young. Oh, he's dealing with a neck injury, just like Trey Hendrickson was dealing with a neck injury. We let him go because we didn't really trust that process. We were wondering, like, maybe, he'll end up having an injury and it might affect him if we give him a long-term deal. Still eating in Cincinnati. What he had, 17 sacks last year. So you're trying to do the same thing with Chase Young, but two different guys. So you're trying to make up for the mistake that you made with Trey Hendrickson by signing Chase Young, but Chase Young isn't Trey Hendrickson. David, thank you very much for the $5. Says Buccaneers were out there looking like Bo Jackson on the old Tecmo Bowl video game, TJ. Defensive bouncing off them like rubber. Boy, Bo Jackson. Him and Walter Payton was like two of the fastest guys on that Tecmo Bowl too. Says the Saints were probably send Olave to the Lions for a 5th rounder. If they do that, then somebody really just needs to get fired. Or somebody needs to be tested for, I don't know, some type of, I don't know, Alzheimer's or I don't know, schizophrenia. I don't know what's going on with you. You need a check. When are we getting TJ Jones as the head coach of New Orleans Saints? It ain't never happened. I'm not head coach material. I'm not head coach material at all. Let's see. There needs to be an inspection on these injuries. Yeah. Trash medical staff. Trash. I would primarily focus on the O-line. And let me make it clear. I don't know these people personally. I'm talking about their practices are trash. So I'm pretty sure they're great people, family people, and all that kind of stuff. I'm not talking about them personally. I'm talking about the practices are trash. I don't know what y'all are trying to do. I don't know if y'all going MacGyver with it. You know what I'm saying? Y'all rolling up these hamstrings. I don't know. Y'all got saran wrap on it or something. I don't know what's going on here. Y'all baking turkeys. I don't know what's happening. But the practices that they're using are not working. They're not working. Ain't happening, man. Adam don't want us at this point. Adams don't want to, yeah. I won't look. The feeling is mutual if you ask me. TJ Jamal Williams is actually a good running back. We just not using him right. Not using him at all. Man, get 1 carry a game. That goes to show you his personality, though, man. He I wouldn't be mad either. I mean, a carry a game, and I'm getting paid $3 million a season, if I'm not mistaken. $3 million? Okay. I could get my $3 million over these next couple of years and then be able to go to another team virtually unscathed to make some more money? Why not? Brian Davis, it is possibly Ryan Ramczyk can come back next season because he didn't officially retire. Man, look, Ryan Ramczyk went out there looking like me, slender, a slender 250, 260. That man, that man is done. That man is sitting on the sidelines helping the New Orleans Saints out. Because they would take a cap hit if he was to retire. So he out there giving it the old, college or the old team, giving it team effort here. But that man is slender. That man ain't trying to play O-line no more. Let's see. After DA apologized to Atlanta in the last year finale, I was officially out on dude. Well, he's always left a lot to be desired. DA was misusing these dudes. The defense supposed to be his calling card. It needs to be revoked. Look at Hendrickson, Hayden, Caden Ellis, and Zach Bond, and C.D. Deuce. Yeah, man. I mean, I think these other teams allowed these guys to go and be themselves. And the Saints are trying to put a square peg into a round hole. That's what they're doing. Barbara, thank you very much for the $2. Says, I am so done with this team in 2024. I think a lot of people feel that way. I think that we just kind of just watch the games, don't really have like any type of emotion behind it. If they win, they win. Yeah, we say who that if they lose. We have this podcast right here and other podcasts. We talk about it and we go to sleep somewhere, I mean, if they don't care, then why should we? Right? Mickey always let good players go who go ball for other teams. Yeah, because they're arrogance. We made you, we can make another you. How that working out for some of them situations? Blow my mind that people blame players when the coaches is clearly hurting everything. Yep, because they don't look at players. They don't look at players like they need to be put in the right situation. They feel like if they good, then they should be good anywhere. It don't matter. But players need development, man. Players need development. Like any job that you had, more than likely, you ain't just going to job knowing what to do. Like some of you, like it depends. Like if it's kind of like manual labor or something, it's probably you experience. Then you probably will come in there and don't really need that much help. But if you're like in an administrative role, or in my case, before I was a full-time broadcaster, retail role, like there were different practices you had to learn and develop in order for you to be able to absorb the skills you need to be able to do the job effectively. When without those skills, you would have just been a deer in the headlights. It's no different. When these players come in, yeah, they know football, but you got to know different schemes, different concepts. You got to know about the blitzes. You got to know where your players are going to be. That takes time. And if you don't have the right coaches around you that can teach you as well as correct the mistakes that you make in order for you not to make them again, then, you basically selling that player short. And the players get the short end of the stick because all the organization are going to do is say that player ain't good enough. And that player gets a bad reputation because the organization misused them. And their confidence all shot and don't feel like they can do anything. People don't really have that like full belief in them because the first organization screwed them over. Like we don't look at it that way. Dennis Allen is in the head coach, is in the head coach material either. I don't know, so I'm sure you have a chance. Well, I don't want it. I wouldn't want to be a head coach. Facts, why all these stars hurt? That's your guess is as good as mine. TJ, they don't know. The Falcons are better, and the Falcons are better this season, as far as, this season. I don't know, man. I mean, if I say something, I sound like a hater. But I'm just not impressed by them, man. Like they just, man, everything just falling in place for them. Like everything falling in place for them. I don't feel like they're that good. I just think that just great opportunities. Like they're good. Don't get me wrong, but I don't see them like Detroit Lions good or 49ers when McCaffrey good come back good, or like I don't see them as that. I see them as a team that basically they like the Pittsburgh Steelers was a few years ago. Like they'll probably win double-digit games and look the part, and then they go in, and I don't know. I don't think they're gonna be a 1 seed, but I think like wild card, they'll probably get beat by the Packers or get beat by the 49ers or something like that. Like I don't see them as contenders. I see them just basically taking advantage of, some situations that kind of revealed themselves, revealed themselves to them. Rather it's injuries, rather it's drop passes, rather it's missed field goals, rather it's slipping on a banana peel, But it's good, man. I'm happy. Like when your organization has been, in the basement for I don't know how long, like, it's good, But I mean, I just find it funny. I just find it funny at the end of the day. It's not because you can tell they waited so long to feel the way that they do towards Saints fans, like us being down and them being up. You can tell like it really like they're on cloud 9 right now. But it's like, I don't know, it's like pillow shots to me. It's like, oh man, y'all suck. Like y'all been sucking like just they're 4-2. And this is the first time they've been 4-2 since 2016. Like this ain't the Chiefs. Like if the Bills were talking to me, or a Chiefs fan was talking to me, or a Ravens fan was talking to me and talking about how bad my team sucked, then maybe I'll feel some type of way about it. But them, like, come on, man, y'all just started winning again last night. So that means absolutely nothing to me, man. I'm like, you can tell, like I said, you can tell their fan base, they've been looking forward to feeling the way that they do for I don't know how long. Like every single year, it's funny. Like every single year, they'll have the same like speech. Oh man, we got y'all this year. We got y'all this year. We got y'all this year. Eventually, you're gonna be right. Eventually, you're gonna be right. If you say it enough, you're gonna be right. But I've been saying, and I'm gonna continue to say, get all your jokes in right now. Get all your laughs in. Say that we the ain'ts and return of the bags and all that kind of stuff there, because we already know what the issue is and what's going on in New Orleans. We already know. So once the Saints decide to do God's work and fire Dennis Allen as the head coach of the New Orleans Saints and bring somebody else up in here with some fresh ideas that can lead men, it's over. We right back in it again. So it doesn't, like, enjoy it. Like, have a good time. Call New Orleans Saints fan, call them the ain't, say we trash. Say, oh man, we run the division, we run the South. Yeah, y'all run the South. Yeah, okay, get your year relevance. And then after that, when the Saints get back up again and the Saints start hunting, because they got a good pass rush, because they got a good defensive coordinator like a Robert Saleh up in there, you know what I'm saying, and start sacking that statue quarterback and Kirk Cousins. Like, come on, man. Like have fun. Have fun. Let's see. That's why Cowboy fans always say it's our year, so they can eventually be right. Brian, you my dude, but come on, man. I know you want to win a Super Bowl with this Saints team. I get it, but not like this. Jerry G Big Q is on right now. Yeah, man, I'm about to go ahead and pass this baton on to Big Q, man. It's been a very long day for me, man. I ain't go to bed till late. I had that song that was stuck in my head, man. I wanted to go ahead and produce that before it popped out of there, man. So I ain't go to bed till late, but I still wanted to kind of do a show to talk a little bit about this. But I got to acknowledge the sponsor once again, BETUS. Sign up today, get up to 125% on your first 3 deposits up to $2,000. Download the BETUS app or go to their website and use the promo code YouTube150. Falcons are overhyped. I say, man, let them have their fun. Let them say all the talk. Like, I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it. Like I said, it don't even bother me. It don't even bother me. Like at first, like it did, like when the Saints first losing, but then when you start looking at like, man, all these injuries and everything, it's pretty easy to say, man, it just ain't our year. It's not. Then you combine the fact that you got a incompetent head coach. They know what's up, man. They know what's up. They know what's up. They know what's up. They look, if you don't believe me, think about this. When Spencer Rattler was started, when they said that Spencer Rattler was going to start his first football game. Think about this. How many Atlanta Falcon fans came to you and was talking noise still? I ain't seen none of that. I ain't seen no noise. You know why? Because if anything that resembles change, they get a little bit nervous about it. And what most of them say, they want you to keep Dennis Allen. They want Dennis Allen to stay around. Like, for better or for worse, like they can say whatever they want to say, but the New Orleans Saints, their ideas and their front office structure, a lot of these teams in the South be biting off of it. So they know the most, like, their success and their team and how they feel about their team basically comes off the back of the New Orleans Saints. Terry Fontenot came from the Saints. So all these different decisions that he made, I mean, he learned under Mickey Loomis and Jeff Ireland and all those other guys that were in the front office. And then he got his opportunity. So to me, like, they already know what's up. They know this organization can be competent when they want to. And they know, like, when they make changes, they make significant changes. Or at least they have, over the last couple of years. They've worked. I will give them credit for that. So they just got to get out of their own way and stop holding on to this dude like he the second coming of Belichick, and I think we'll be all right. Get all your jabs in now. Best believe we'll be back. Yeah, get the jabs in. Everything the Falcons trying to do, we been did it. Facts, they know. Great stream, second time catching you, says Kenny. Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Yeah, like, look, what can you say? Like, seriously, you may not, like, right now, it's you eating crow. I'm eating it. I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I don't like how it tastes, especially when it comes to, like, the Falcons and with the way, like, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm okay with it at the end of the day. I'm okay with it. Because I know, look, like that church song say, I'm so glad that trouble don't last always. Because I know it ain't going to last. Like, once we get that da-da-da, da-da-da. Breaking news, the New Orleans Saints have fired Dennis Allen as the head coach. Dennis Allen was the coach for the New Orleans Saints for 3 seasons with a record of whatever the heck it was when they fired him. When they do all that, we already know what's going on. We already know we up. Said tanking for Shadur. I don't even think you have to tank for if you keep Dennis Allen all season. Just need to keep Dennis Allen for Shadur. We a ring ahead of them. Let them talk. I don't even care about the ring. The ring to me is, the Saints got a Super Bowl championship. They don't, but it's beyond that, man. It's beyond that. Like, it's a lot of fake Atlanta Falcon fans out there. And the first line of trouble, you'll see, they'll be gone. They'll be gone, folks. Out of the whole NFC South, our Super Bowl run, the Saints dominated the entire year. Yeah, I guess you can say that. I mean, Tampa back in 2002, they was pretty dominant as well, that defense. Give them that, but yeah, but that year they won a Super Bowl back in 2020, the COVID year. Yeah, I mean, the Saints were a better football team. They were just a better football team that day. Falcons will always be 28-3. The pitcher Lattimore says it all. I just hope that he's still on the team when we turn it around. I think he might be gone after this year, man. How can I find Big Q's podcast? Somebody put Big Q's link inside of the comments, please. Yeah, man. Show some love to my boy, man. Great podcast, great mind right there. Thank you, Jerry. Great mind right there, man. Good human being. Devontae Adams, Yolanda Adams, Stacey Adams, Adam and Eve fired Dennis Allen. Exactly. Stacey Adams. Some smooth boys. Falcons ain't winning nothing of significance. They talking, but after week 18, they be quiet again. Yeah, man. I mean, all that winning just to get bounced out the playoffs by the 49ers. I think AK and Laddie are going in 2025. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Like, honestly, if things keep going to ish, you might want to try to, shop AK for the trade deadline. Like, get this man up out of here, man. Let him go to somewhere where he can actually do some winning. Shoot, help that man out. Let him send him to Denver or something like that. Let him help out Sean Payton. Shoot, let him help out Sean Payton. Sean Payton know how to use him. Then we're gonna be somewhere, man. Look, man, we could have been using AK like that. We could have been using AK like that. AK ain't been used the right way since Sean Payton left. So why might as well go ahead and send him back to him. Hopefully we can get some draft picks for our new coach. Yeah, man, get some draft pick for this guy. Sean Payton coming back to NOLA and mop up the team is crazy. The same man that told you to give DA a chance at head coach. Yep. I mean, it's crazy though, right? I mean, the guy who recommended you to be the head coach could be the guy that can put the nail into your coffin. That's crazy. But man, who knows, man? Sean Payton is petty, man. He probably knew that Dennis Allen wasn't going to work out. Probably knew it wasn't. Probably, just out here just doing that just to be petty. Because he ain't want another coach to come in and try to replicate what he did. At least not yet. He got covered from him. It's deeper than a high draft pick when it comes to DA. I'd rather have a 16 pick with DA fired than a 9 pick with keeping him. I've been putting coal in this fire DA hype train long ago, even at 2-0. Yeah, man. I mean, you've been saying it for a while, man. You've been saying it for a while. Says that's the point, TJ. He knew. Yeah, he knew that man wasn't about nothing, man. He knew that dude wasn't about to win nothing. He did that as a joke. Yeah, man, you ain't about to look. You ain't about to wreck. You want somebody, to do good, but not as good as you did. I don't know. I just think that it was a huge mistake. But I don't even blame him. I blame Mickey Loomis for listening to him. He's my friend. We're friends. We've been friends for a long time. We sure been friends for a long time. And I love Sean, and Sean loves me. And, he's a guy that, that I really feel when he says something, I take it into, I take it into consideration, Like, okay, bro. Go ahead and set this organization back by listening to Sean Payton. We were out playing golf, at the, on the lake, and he said to me, and, I listen to Sean, he's a really good guy, and he's one of my bestest friends. And he told me about Dennis. He said you can win 2 Super Bowls with him. Oh, man. You got to add the gum chewing to you. That man was out here fleecing you. And took your money on a golf course and and trick you off the block. Mickey is a goofy. Look, I don't know the man personally, but listening to Sean Payton wasn't his best idea. Wasn't his best idea. And I think that if he has to end up firing DA, I think he's going to have to accept that. Let's see. Go listen to that Loomis interview on WWL, TJ. He tripling down on DA, giving him every excuse possible. Look, I ain't got to listen to it. I ain't got to listen to it. I didn't had my feel of listening to Saints Trust and Saints coaches. Man, it give me a headache, man, for real. Like looking at these guys, know that they couldn't motivate. They could motivate a duck to hop in the water, man. They just, it's pretty bad, bro. It's pretty bad. I mean, just thinking about it, got my head hurting. Got my head hurting, man. Like listening to this dude, man. I got some more clips that I got to play before we get up out of here, man. Let's see. The media asked Dennis Allen about how can his team improve? How can he improve? I think with JD, shouts out to John DeShazer, really good person, man. Y'all know JD, man. Great person. Been on the show a couple of times. Asked a question about what adjustments and improvements can you make to the team? And this is what Dennis Allen had to say.
Well, there won't be a whole lot we can do from a physical standpoint this week, being that we're on the short week with the Thursday deal, but that's got to be a point of emphasis. It hadn't typically been an area that we've had a lot of struggles with, but we certainly have the last 2 weeks. Really, I don't think we've tackled as well as we need to. So we've got to get that fixed. We've got to get that corrected, and just in terms of our overall execution, is not where it needs to be. So I really got to look at what we're asking our guys to do, how much we're asking them to do. Are we asking them to do the right things? We're putting them in the right positions. Because right now we're not playing defense the way that we have and the way that we're capable of.
So if they don't know how to tackle, we need to teach them how to tackle. If they can't work on the right, let's put them on the left. If they can't work on the left, put them on the right. If they can't work upwards, let's put them downward. If they can't work downwards, let's put them upward. Whatever, dude. Whatever, man. Look, 14 missed tackles in this football game, over 500, nearly 600 yards of total offense, 277 rushing yards, 7.8 average. Look, I'm not even looking at the stat sheet, and I can remember that because that's how pathetic that performance was by a Dennis Allen-led defense. But I will say this. Out of all of the politically correct, vote for me for state senate, vote for me for congressman, vote for me for alderman for District 2, all that talking that Dennis Allen did in that press conference. He did say one thing that I actually agree with. And I think that you would actually agree with this too. Yes, I'm really saying this. I think you agree with this. What Dennis Allen said right here, I think that we all can agree with.
Well, the number one thing is you got to recognize the issues. That's the first thing you have to be able to do. And so you got to recognize what the issues are, and then you got to put emphasis on those issues.
Let's run that back again. I think we all can agree with that.
Well, the number one thing is you got to recognize the issues. That's the first thing you have to be able to do. And so you got to recognize what the issues are, and then you got to put emphasis on those issues.
Oh, yes. I definitely agree with that. We got to realize what the issue is, and we got to put emphasis on said issue. You are the issue, my friend. You're the issue why other fans of football teams are laughing at us. You're the reason why we're third in the NFC South right now in the standings when we have the talent to be first, maybe second. You're the reason why people are fouling out of the Superdome early in the fourth quarter. You're the reason why this fan base doesn't seem like it has any hope. You're the reason why these Saints fans are just going through the motions right now. You're the reason why people are emotionally detached from a team they have grown and loved for 40 years and 50 years. Let me go back down in 30 years and 20 years and 10 years and 5 years, wherever you fall in. You are the reason, my friend. So I definitely agree with you on that. We need to identify the issue. Now that we have identified the issue, we need to eradicate the issue. And that is Dennis Allen. I definitely agree with you on that, my friend. That's the best. That is the greatest statement that you have ever made in your 3-year tenure, 2.5-year tenure as the head coach. I got to hear that once again. This man is preaching.
Well, the number one thing is you got to recognize the issues. That's the first thing you have to be able to do. And so you got to recognize what the issues are, and then you got to put emphasis on those issues.
Got to put emphasis on those issues. Got to put the emphasis on the issue. That's why we got to keep on toting the drum. We got to keep on pounding the drum, okay? Look, got to take it away from the Carolina Panthers. We got to keep pounding this drum to get this dude up out of here, man. Like, we cannot let up, man. And if they are going to keep on doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down, quintupling down on this dude, then we need to do the same doggone thing. And we need to hit him where it hurt. Now, I'm telling you, I'm okay. I'm okay right now because I understand it's a short week. But if that team goes out there and quit, and those guys get beat to sleep by the Denver Broncos on national television, and this man try to bring this dude back and go on WWL with the nonsense again, bruh, do what you got to do. Wherever you feel like that is, do what you got to do. Because if they are not, if they cannot see what the issue is, then we need to see it for him. Read a few more, then we're going to go ahead and get up out of here. It says the Jets were willing to move on from Robert Saleh after just 5 games with Aaron Rodgers, but we are going to stick with Allen. I mean, I feel like to that, I feel like that's a little bit unfair because that is New York that we're talking about. New York and New Orleans are 2 different media markets right there. So they have way more pressure. Like, no disrespect to Saints fans, but New York fan base, that's a whole different beast right there. So I can understand why they probably would do something like that and make a drastic change like that based on the market that they're in. But, you know, with the New Orleans Saints market, like they can kind of control a lot of the things, you know, to make sure that they can just basically do whatever the hell they want to do. Falcons will always remember 28-3, says David. Mickey Loomis on the radio making excuses right now. I think I already read those, but I just wanted to make sure. That's the best thing that man said for years. DA, you're fired. Yep, that's the best statement I ever heard him make. Well, TJ, looks like we won't be going back to the Little Easy anytime soon, huh? Look, man, I'm still gonna go to the Little Easy, man. Those people good to me, you know. So anytime I'm down in New Orleans, a State of Saints podcast is going to be taking place at a Little Easy. I plan on still going down there in a couple of weeks, man, to go down there to a game. You know, I'm still going to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, not, you know, to the actual game, but probably go there to the Little Easy and watch it from start to finish. Y'all feel free to come on up in that thing with your boy. You know what I'm saying? Y'all come on, man. We can have a good time. We can talk. We can joke. You know, we can, we can do that. Maybe we can just do a maybe we can do a watch along or something like that from the Little Easy. Love the show, TJ. We know you're going to keep it real, raw, and uncut. Yeah, man. No, I'm definitely gonna do that. We just gotta clean some things up, man. Look, ain't that much cleaned in the world. Look, Mary Poppins didn't clean that much. Swiffle Sweeper can't clean that much. Mr. Clean, when he was on that commercial with that mop, you know, like he wasn't cleaning that much, man. I mean, ain't nobody cleaning up that much. The Canton Spiritual. Clean up what I messed up. They can't clean up more than that, okay? That room is dirty, man. You need to hit the detonator. You need to blow that thing up and rebuild, okay? They need to pull a Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott, he completely renovating his house, making it more modernized. That's what them boys need to do. The same bulldozer that had tore down Dak Prescott house is the same one that needs to tear down this infrastructure that is the Dennis Allen-led football team. That's the only thing that needs to be demolished. Curious of what you think of DC. Me personally, I'm glad we left him, but we should have had a contingency plan. Look, I think that you should have kept him at the defensive coordinator position. That's what I feel. And you should have got yourself another head coach, an offensive-minded head coach. And I think you would have been in a better position. You would have been in a better position. If you would have went out and I don't know who was the head coach. I don't know who got the head coaching job around that time, but you could have got somebody that was competent, that could have came up in here, help you win some football games. That's what you could have done. But listening to Sean Payton tell you Dennis Allen is the answer to all your problems. Sean Payton gonna bury DA, wear all black on Thursday. Sean Payton not losing to DA. I already made that up in my mind, man. I already told y'all if you go to the Dome, wear all black. Wear all black. And I need the second line to be out there too, okay? I need the second line to be out there too, you know, because I think it's gonna get ugly. We got to start over fresh at this point. Yep. I mean, but the Saints are the way that they structuring this team, they trying to work themselves back to the middle. Pause. They trying to do, they trying to improve. Because they know, man. They know. They know dude, man. They know dude. They do more than likely, you know what I'm saying? This dude was gonna be feast or famine, more likely famine. That's why we out here being subjected to Dude played well on Sunday. I'm not going to take nothing away from him. But Bub Memes and Mason Tipton and Equimedius St. Brown and Cedric Wilson, that, like I said, man, the walkthrough boys, the couch cushion brigade, guys that's on the cheap, right? Just they can catch a pass. They might catch it. They might not. 50-50, you're asking a little bit too much from them. I mean, that's the reason why we're in this situation right now. Because they trying to make sure that they okay and set themselves up in a better position for when a new coach come in, he can have all 7 of his draft picks, some money that he can work with, and some players that more than likely going to be off the books. TJ, do you think Mickey will fire DA if they lose to the Broncos? Wonder what would happen if he is not fired. I put it like this. If the Saints lose and they're competitive throughout the game, he ain't going anywhere. If we going into the half and I'm doing a halftime show on the State of the Saints podcast and the score is 38-6 or something like that, and, they pour it on again and the end result might be another 50 burger, I think he gone. I think he going. Like, you can't keep that. You can't keep it. You can't keep it. I mean, the whole entire world saw it. And that would be 50 points in less than a week that your defense allowed to be put on your team. So, yeah, it would be over. If they are competitive and they go out there and they're going back and forth and the game is competitive, he ain't going anywhere. That's the way I feel about it. I never seen a defense quit like this. It's time for a change. I think they fooling themselves. Saying that, it's a tough day at the office. It was tough. It was a tough day at the office, but some of those guys made it much tougher than what it was supposed to be. The Who Dat Nation masquerade will swing 3 selections and sit down. That's too much, Jerry. Right? There's an A and B selection. Where does C come from? If you singing a C, that's a little bit too much right there. That's the sit down selection right there. All right, man. We know you can sing. All right, we know you can ad lib a song. y'all know them church songs. They probably have like 2 verses on it, and then they just ad lib for 10 minutes. And I know the Lord is going to do it. I know the Lord is going to. They just say the person leading the song might say. The person that leading the song, they might have a couple verses. I was hungry. I know the Lord is going to do. Need something to eat. I know the Lord. Do it for like 10 minutes. Song got 2 verses. Song got 2 verses and 10 minutes of ad lib. 99 and a half. Just won't do. Oh, just won't do. DA defense is ranked dead last. Right. That's your calling card right there. TJ, who will the next coach be? Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson will be the next head coach of the New Orleans Saints. Robert Saleh will be the defensive coordinator of the New Orleans Saints. That is what I feel. That is my prediction. Ben Johnson, head coach. Dennis, I'm about to say, no Dennis. Gone. Peace out. Whew. Robert Saleh and Ben Johnson. People talking about, man, Robert Saleh. Well, nah, bro. I'm talking about Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator. Robert Saleh, defensive coordinator. I'm good. Head coach. Then on top of that, you got something really great, right? Because you got 2 guys that more than likely won't go anywhere unless they're fired. Because ain't nobody gonna be calling up no Robert Saleh to be the head coach. Yeah, you know that. Not, unless it's like probably 6-7 years later or something like that. And Ben Johnson, I mean, he's going from offensive coordinator to a head coach. So if he becomes successful as a head coach for your football team, guess what? That's your head coach for the foreseeable future. That's your defensive coordinator for the foreseeable future. You can actually build something there, win some championships maybe. Get back to being respected in the NFC. The Jets have had the best D in the NFL for 3 years. Pause. Thank you, Josh. Words of encouragement by brother Jerry Porter. Quiet selection will perform Take Me to the King. Take me to the king. Let's see. Gail better have boxes and security at DA's office by halftime if Sean Payton has the Broncos looking like the 2011 Saints. Hey, they're going to be like Robert Saleh. They're going to have 2 security guards that just escort them out. They ain't even going to let them talk to the team. That's horrible. And to believe the Saints went out and got to get Deshaun Watson. Yeah. Yeah, that was they dodged the bullet there. Okay, tell me who's better than the Jets D. Pause. Nobody, I don't think the Browns, they had a really good defense at one time. I don't know what they looking like now. I ain't really been catching up with them. I know they have yet to score 20 points in this season, and it's like going into week 7. That's crazy. But I don't know, man. I don't know too many teams. I ain't really been following too many teams with defense. I know the Chiefs got a good defense. I know the Ravens always have a good defense. Buffalo has a good defense. Houston has a good defense, even though they didn't show it yesterday. If you're watching this on a Monday, they got a few teams, but yeah, the Jets, they got a good football team. And I think that the Saints, they already got some things that the Jets have. I think they need some more speed. Need some more speed up front. Need some more speed at the linebacker position. Then you'll be straight. Deshaun Watson is horrible. The coach won't play Jameis, but the fans will chant for Jameis to play this Sunday at home. Well, Chantel, it's simple. It's about that almighty dollar. All right. This man got over $250 million of guaranteed money, which made him like the highest paid quarterback in history. No other quarterback has got that type of guaranteed money, and Kirk Cousins is in the NFL. Kirk Cousins has the best agent I ever seen. I mean, a B plus C plus player getting guaranteed money. I think he had like $84 million like of guaranteed money. I think his entire Minnesota Viking contract was guaranteed. I need that type of guy right there as my agent. Just to be good to my team. Ooh, I'm screwed. Just be good to my team. It's around the time I should be playing that song. I made that song 3 seasons ago, and I can still play it today. And and the same message would be. I don't even know if I still had this on my laptop. I don't know, man. Let me see if I still got it. No, I don't. I don't have it. But I'll pull it up eventually. But it's the same message. It's been 7 weeks. Now it's been about 7 weeks. And the same thing he did to them, he did to me. Same message. Nothing changed. Same message. Maybe look at Joe Brady for head coach. Man, no, sir. No, sir. Nah, bruh. No disrespect to Joe Brady, but I'm good on that. If I can get Ben Johnson as my head coach, I'm good with that. It don't get no better than that right now. Like, people been flirting with this dude for 3 seasons, and he has been loyal to the Detroit Lions because he's adamant about bringing a championship to Detroit. But if they can't do it this year, I think this might be the year. And then on top of that, I think Carolina was like really pressing him, and he didn't want to go into that situation with David Tepper and his impatience, which set up a great opportunity for Dave Canales. So there you have it. Ex-defense coach Chris Rouchard would be a great selection for a head coach. He is a great leader and positive vibe. I think he's a good coach. I don't understand why he's still out on the street, but yeah, man. I think that he will be a good leader, but I want somebody I know that I want a combination that I know for a fact gonna be able to fix some of these issues that plaguing his football team. And when I look at Robert Saleh as a defensive coordinator, I know for a fact he'll fix these defensive issues. We'll be able to get pressure on the quarterback by rushing 4. You'll get some speed at the linebacker position. He will make sure that the team is put in position where the offense of the opposing team won't be able to get nothing cheap and nothing deep. And then you have Ben Johnson, who I just feel like is this dude, like if you watch that game yesterday or watch some of the highlights, Detroit and Dallas, that man was out there playing with the Dallas Cowboys. They did one play where they actually did a lateral to a right guard. And they had one play where they actually had him as a tight end. And they threw him a pass. Like, dude was just out there just playing with them boys. I mean, that's what I feel like we need. Like, I think Saints fans need that energy. Like the Saints need somebody that is going to match their personality, the personality of the city. What we like most about Sean Payton was Sean Payton didn't care, right? Sean Payton was grimy. Sean Payton was petty. Sean Payton didn't care how throwing the ball late in the fourth quarter made you feel. Going for a kill shot, knowing that I'm up by 3 touchdowns, I want to be up by 4. Ben Johnson strikes me as that type of individual. And I feel like that's something that the New Orleans Saints fans need. We need somebody to match our petty. We need somebody to match our intensity. They need somebody that can match our unapologetic personalities. Like that's what Saints fans need. Like, you need leadership, yes, absolutely. But you need somebody out there like that has that type of personality where, look, you come into the Superdome, we putting foots in you. And we gonna make sure that you feel every inch of that boot that we just put up in your wazoo. That's what we need right now. Don't need nobody out here with this passive aggressive personality. Like press conference sound like a funeral. Don't really get nothing out of them. Captain Cliche. We got to clean up what we messed up. Start our life over again. Like, it's the little things. It's the big things. It's the medium-sized things. It's the thing that's sitting over there in the corner. We got to keep chopping wood. Then when we chop the wood, we got to collect the wood and burn the wood. And then we got to find another tree and cut some more wood. Like, man, miss me with all that, okay? This ain't the Bounty commercial. You ain't the quilted quicker picker upper. Shoot, you ain't the Bounty man. We talking about winning some football games here. We trying to win. Care nothing about these cliches that you talking about. Keep on swinging for the fences. Hopefully we hit a home run. Like, man, like, I don't care about this. We got to keep on painting the shed, or we got to keep on putting the motor in the boat. We got to keep on putting the boat in the water. We got to keep on canoeing. Like, man, miss me with all these cliches. Like, miss me with all this, man. Like, ain't nobody, like, who cares? Like, all these cliches, man. Like, who are you, Mr. Miyagi? I mean, like, who are you talking to? Daniel's son or something? There, only there will you see the true meaning of defense. Like, who cares, man? Like, come on, dude. What are we doing? What are we doing, man? Like, man, give me somebody that's going to tell it like it is. Hey, man, he was late, so he got fined $5,000. Oh, you dropped my football. Okay, go sit on that bench. Now, he fumbled the football. Oh, he fumbled it again. He's back in the game again. What is he going to do? Fumble again. Like, come on, man. What are we doing? In pass interference, defense number 29. Pass interference, defense number 29. Intercepted by Paulson Adebo. That's the reason why we got him in the game right there. Gave up 100 yards in penalties, but one interception that he returned for 4 yards. That Derek Carr can't even move the ball down the field, put in the end zone. But, hey, let's keep him in the game. Or even any offensive player that matter at this particular point, the way the team is structured with the injuries. Like, keep on doing what you're doing. That is the lifestyle of the New Orleans Saints under Dennis Allen. We laugh at that, but keep on doing what you're doing is the moniker. And he doesn't even have to say it. I mean, it's shown in his actions. Come to the Atlanta Falcons and New Orleans Saints game in November, the family is going. Yeah, I'll probably come out there. I know I'm going to the Carolina Panthers Saints game. My wife was kind enough to give me those tickets for my birthday, man. So I'm definitely going to that. But I'll try to make it out there. DA is a petty Betty. I mean, there ain't nothing petty about DA. DA apologized to coaches that get fired 2 hours after they leave the field. I just want to apologize to Arthur Smith. And that's just not the team we're trying to be. I don't know what type of team you're trying to be. Soft, passive aggressive. Ticket cheap as hell right now. Yeah, and that's why they're gonna have a bunch of Atlanta Falcon fans up in there. They're gonna sound like an Atlanta Falcon home game because they winning too. Well, you know they're gonna travel. You know they're gonna travel. They start winning. They ain't gonna look. Let them lose 2 straight. They may not go because they're gonna be afraid that they ain't gonna be able to talk some noise. Maybe that's what ticks me off. Do you think Rattler would do well with Ben? Yep, I absolutely. Because Ben Johnson is not going to ask him to do something that he's not going to be able to do. You know, Ben Johnson is going to make sure that he's accompanied by a running game. Ben Johnson is going to make sure he has an offensive line that's competent. And he's not going to tell people to keep on doing what they're doing. And hopefully he'll try to go out here and find some wide receivers that can actually complement him and not have guys that, God bless them once again, that are undrafted, unproven, and just happy to be out there. Well, how many people you think Mason Tipton calling saying that I'm gonna be on TV on Thursday night? Bub means, Mama, you see, I'm gonna start. Oh, baby, I'm so proud of you. I told you all that hard work that you did gonna pay off. You know, like, I mean, and ain't nothing wrong with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a great moment for those kids. But at the same time, it's like, I mean, somebody, I can't remember who it was, but they hit the nail on the head. They say Bub Means wouldn't be a starter on a college team right now. You know what I'm saying? Maybe on a few college teams, but like, would he be a starter on the Alabama wide receiver? Like, would he be a starter for the LSU wide receiver? No, probably not. Mason Tipton, no, they would not. No, they wouldn't. They would not. They wouldn't. So, you know, it's a tall ask to ask those young gentlemen to go out there and channel their inner Antonio Brown or Julio Jones. Man, them dirty birds better not sit by me. Last year, I almost got into 2 fights. First game, we lost. Yeah, man. Look, I ain't about all that nonsense, man. Like, for real, it's football. At the end of the day, we ain't getting paid for it. We ain't getting paid. Like, all that fighting and stuff. Like, this is my team right here. It's life. Like, dude, if you go to jail, is Grady Jarrett coming to bail you out? Huh? Is Drake London coming to bail you out? If you go to jail as a Saint fan, is Alvin Kamara posting bail? No, he is not. All right, I like those guys, man, but I ain't going to jail for no black and gold. I ain't going to jail for no Saints. I ain't trying to get in no fight for no Saints. It don't get that serious nowhere at all. That is the most ridiculous thing ever. When I see people fighting over football teams that they have no investments. It's not like they part of a partnership group. It's not like they making any type of money off this football team. You paid hundreds of dollars to sit in that seat. And if you don't pay hundreds of dollars next week when the next home game comes into town, guess what? You ain't going to be in that thing. You might have washed somebody like Petey Sheets in the name of the Las Vegas Raiders. But guess what? If you don't pay that money the next week, you ain't getting in the football game. So somebody tell me how ridiculous is that? For you to be sitting up there fighting over a football team that at the end of the day ain't paying you jack. You ain't getting paid 2 years, $60 million. You getting paid if you come to work at the end of 2 weeks. You might get a couple thousand, but you gonna have to show up for that. That don't make any sense, man. Like, it just doesn't. Like, bruh, I love the Saints. I do. Y'all know I do, man. I would be sitting up here almost 2 hours into this joint talking about this team after they have lost 4 straight games if I didn't. But guess what, man? I ain't about to shed no blood for no Saints. Especially over the last 2 weeks, they'll see like they've been shedding no blood themselves. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. Much love to you, no matter where you are, wherever you may be. Thank you for making the State of the Saints podcast your go-to podcast for talking to New Orleans Saints. Let me go with Eddie, man. I like to see new people in the chat. I'm not used to seeing. It says, TJ, do you think Breeze could be coaching material? I think that Breeze can provide something, man. I'm always kind of skeptical about guys that played at a high level, that played, that were great, because I just feel like you put so much into your greatness. Sometimes you don't know how to regurgitate that sometimes. Some guys do, man. But some, for the most part, the real great ones, the elite ones, the Hall of Famers, the ones you can't tell the stories of the NBA, the NFL, as coaches, they're not really that good. But I wouldn't mind giving them a shot as a consultant and seeing how it goes. I mean, I know he's had experience like coaching a few times. I know he went back to his alma mater at Purdue and coached. I want to say he coached that bowl game when they played LSU. Probably I wouldn't want to tell nobody that because LSU just beat the brakes out Purdue. But I mean, he has shown interest in that. But look, man, the Saints got to give Drew Brees something to work with, man. Look, Drew, I feel so bad for Drew, man, because every time Drew comes to the Superdome, the Saints always get the foots put up in them. They just need to stop inviting Drew. Like, invite Drew when it's something worth going to see. Like, okay, Drew, look, we got you. I know the last couple of times we asked you to show up, I know it ain't been an enjoyable experience. But look, Drew, we got it today. We got the defense. We got them hunting. We got the offensive line intact. We got a quarterback that has the possibility of putting up 300. We got a running game, Drew. We got a running game. You can play with this football team. All right, I'll be there. Give Drew something to work with. Got Drew sitting up in a luxury box trying to crack a smile because the camera going to be on him because he's the greatest quarterback in Saints history. And got him up there scowling, looking like Jerry Jones at a Dallas Cowboy home game. Man, give Drew something that he can smile about. Give him something he can smile about, man. And, got Drew up here. Dude's giving up 500 yards of total defense and want Drew to sit up there and enjoy himself. Man, Drew got his back turned. He up there talking and asking people what they're going to do when it's all said and done. Have you ever tried pickleball or something? Man, they ain't even into the game. I agree, but some of these fans take it too far, and it's downtown in me. I can't help it, bro. Yeah, man, you got to let that go, bro. Like, we all come from the trenches for the most part. 9th Ward, 8th Ward, 7th Ward, 3rd Ward, Pigeon Town, across the canal, CTC. Look, we all come from some treacherous and trencherous. I got to come up with a word, trencherous places. But guess what, man? We grow and we elevate, man. Ain't nobody need to be fighting for nothing, man. If ain't nobody coming in your house trying to attack your family or mess with your wife or your kid, man, put them hands in your pocket, bro. It ain't even worth it. It's not worth it, man. What words are going to do at the end of the day? Words are just, words are nothing. It's not what somebody call you, it's what you answer to. And I noticed that most people that get into those type of situations, they're not too sure about themselves, man. And I know, Jason, I know you better than that, though. If somebody's saying something, like I said, it's not what they call you, it's what you answer to, man. If somebody say, man, you a punk. If you ain't a punk, why? Why? Like, okay, bro, whatever, dog. So it ain't worth it, man. It ain't worth it. I ain't seen a situation yet, that it would be worth it over, except for family. Like, don't play with my wife. Don't play with my son. Don't play with my family. That's all I got to say. All right. But other than that, like a couple words, man, somebody saying something, on the internet or saying something to me that don't even know me. You got people, that see me like tweeting on X and they'll say, man, you don't know, you're a hater. You're a fake fan. I'm like, dudes don't even know I do a podcast where I tweet and I put it into perspective on this podcast. Honestly, this is the honest truth. There's one person that I ended up talking to on X, and they just thought I was just some dude that was just out here trolling. Checked out the podcast, said that they enjoyed my work. Didn't even know I was doing this, man. So, like sometimes like people, some people don't even realize it, So, man, it ain't worth it, man. I ain't fighting at the job that pays me, TJ. It ain't that critical. Like, it ain't that critical, man. Look, I'm too grown for that, man. I didn't learn how to use my words and definitely man enough to walk away from situations that ain't about my time. In the words of Bruce Leroy, sometimes it is hard walking the ways of the water. Yeah, man, but what's it get you, man, at the end of the day? I don't know. That's what I think about. What does it get you? Like, you saw the LSU on Saturday night? No, I didn't, man. Look, I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch any football on Saturday. I didn't watch any football on Saturday. You know what I did, man? I was at the house after me, my wife, and my son. We took Paxton to soccer. Then after that, we went to a little fall pumpkin patch that we always bring Paxton to every year since he was born. And then I came back to the house, man, and me and my wife, man, we just watched movies, man. Watched movies, took a nap, woke back up, watched some more movies. It was wonderful. It was wonderful. You know, so that was my Saturday. I didn't watch any football. I'm gonna be honest. I didn't watch any football. I heard about what LSU did. I heard about them winning in overtime. I seen the highlights, but I didn't watch it, man. I didn't. You know, I probably would have watched football if Coastal played. Like Coastal, you know, Coastal played on Thursday, if that's what you want to call it. God bless them, but they got the doors beat off them by James Madison. And they play Louisiana this week, man. But unfortunately, I ain't gonna be at that because I'm gonna be in Columbia. But that's unfortunate, man. Because I wanted to meet my boy D-Lo for the first time in person, man. He's the sideline reporter for Louisiana Lafayette. But I will be on 103.7 on Friday, breaking down the Coastal Carolina versus Louisiana game. That's going to be Coastal Carolina's homecoming. So the Raging Cajun is going to trying to play spoiler for Coastal Carolina homecoming, and Coastal has a bad taste in their mouth after that crucial loss to James Madison, man. So that should be an interesting game. It should be a fun game. It's going to be taking place at noon on Saturday. But like I said, man, I won't be able to go to that game. I'll be in Columbia. And then they got the Myrtle Beach Jazz Festival for the radio station that I have to be a part of. We do that every single year. So I won't be able to go to the game this time around. But hey, I mean, still going to be able to check it out. Still going to be giving you all information for those that follow Sunbelt football. And as you can tell, we're at the end of the show. But thank you all so much for checking out the State of the Saints podcast. Really do appreciate it. Please follow me on X at TJAYJones8. Shouts out to all the people that are here. Shouts out to all the people that commented. Let me make sure I ain't forget anybody or see. Yeah, I pretty much caught up with the donations. Thank you to everybody that donated to the State of the Saints podcast. I really do appreciate that, keeping the lights, water, and phone on in that thing. And also, man, all the people that can't be here, but always check it out after the show is all said and done. Shouts out to the after show boys.
Shouts out, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out to them after show boys. Shouts out, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out, shouts out to them after show boys. They be tweet and be post, they be tweet and be post, they be tweet. Yeah, them after show boys. They be tweet and be post, they be tweet and be post, they be tweet. Yeah, them after show boys.
Shouts out to all the after show boys, after show girls out there. Please subscribe to the channel. Please hit that like button on your way out. Thank you for tuning in. And like always, all I gotta say is, who dat?
Thank you for listening to my daddy's podcast. Please subscribe to our channel.
Hey, don't let these tears fool you. It's all dog around this mug. I'm good.